Dear friends, welcome back to one more session on the topic Letters to Newspaper Editors and Government Authorities. This is the 36th session of BA and BSc, 4th semester English. As you all know, in the last session, that is session number 35, we had discussed about various aspects of newspaper, newspapers, as well as writing letters to newspapers. Let's quickly recap the main points. In the previous session, we looked at the importance of newspapers as well as letters to the newspapers. We discussed why newspapers play a very important role in a democratic country, and the importance of writing letters to the newspapers, where it serves a very important role of informing the government as well as the government agencies regarding the good and the bad of the programs and policies brought out by the government. It also helps create awareness among the public about various issues. We also discussed the role played by responsible citizens as well as responsible readers who can actively participate in the democratic process by writing letters to the newspapers, especially to the editors, and they can share their ideas, views, opinions, as well as comments and suggestions. In the last session, we also had a look at the important hints on writing. The most important points discussed were how to write, what should be the language of letters to the editors, how long should be the letter, the length of the letter, and the manner of writing, the words to be used, and how you can make your letters acceptable, and how you can create an impact on the society by writing good, sensible, meaningful letters to the editors. So we had discussed all these points in the last session, that was session number 35. Now we shall look at some more points in this session, session number 36. Now let's look at the classification of letters. As you know, letter writing is a very important art, and people write different kinds of letters. Broadly speaking, letters are divided or classified into two broad categories: informal letters and formal letters. Informal letters are also called social letters. They are the letters which are written among the family members or friends or relatives. So informal letters are quite informal in nature, because they are written among known people, familiar people, so there is no need of any formality. There is no rigid structure for an informal letter. But on the other hand, we have formal letters, which are also called official letters, which are very formal. As the word suggests, they have to be written in a formal manner, following the rules and regulations and the structure of the letter. There are different kinds of formal letters. The most important are business letters, applications, letters of complaint, inquiry letters. Business letters are letters written in the business world. For example, when someone writes a letter, no, a letter to a business concern, uh, ordering, no, the placing an order for commodities, goods, that becomes a business letter. Applications, there are different kinds of applications. You write leave applications at college. You apply for jobs, so you write job applications. People write applications to banks for opening an account. Applications are written for on various occasions for various purposes. Letters of complaint are another kind of letter. Uh, these are simply called complaint letters. When you have got a complaint, you write these kinds of letters. For example, letter to the editor is also sometimes a complaint letter. You're complaining about certain things, or you may write a letter of complaint to a business concern or a sales concern, from where you have purchased something and you have certain complaints to make. Enquiry letters are also formal letters where you inquire about certain things. So these are some of the important formal letters. And as I told you, in a formal letter, you need to keep in mind that you should follow the rules, the structure of the letter, and you need to use formal language. You need to uh, use the uh, appropriate vocabulary. Now, moving on to the contents of a letter. The contents of a letter are what a letter contains. As you all know, we always begin the letter, any letter for that matter, with the writer's address. When I say writers, I mean from address. It is the address of the person who is writing the letter or the person who is sending the letter. So it is also the sender's address or from address. That is the first block in in any formal letter. Next comes the date. Uh, Immediately after the from address, you have the date. The next block will be to address. To address is the address of the person to whom you write the letter. So this is the address of the person to whom the letter reaches. Next comes salutation and subject. Subject is a very important part of any formal letter. After that, you have the body of the letter, which is the main part of the letter, where you discuss the subject in detail. After the body of the letter, you end the letter with a subscription and a signature, followed by the name of the sender or the writer. So these are the contents of a letter. Now let's look at each one of them separately. First, we will look at writer's address or the sender's address or the from address. When you write a formal letter, you need to write the full name of the sender along with the initials. This is very important because you're writing a formal letter, so your name should be formally written as it is in any of the documents, any of the formal official documents. So you need to write the full name. If there are initials, you need to put those initials also along with the name. Then you need to write the complete address. You need to write the place as well as the pin code also. So this is the first block. Next comes the date. Now there are different styles of writing the date. As you can see here, formal business letters, you need to write out the entire date. When you write a formal letter, please keep in mind to write the full date, the complete date. There are two examples given there. 6 September 2020 is one style of writing the complete date. This is a style followed by the British English, followed in the British English. And there is another style where you start with the month first. You say September 6, 2019. This is American English. Both are internationally accepted styles of writing dates, but here in the first instance, when you write 6 September 2020, please note there is no comma after the month, and if you want, you can also put th after 6th, so you can make it 6th. After 6 you put th, 6th September 2020. Even that is accepted. And you should also note that months are always written in capital letters. When I say capital letters, I mean the first letter of the word. September, for example, S is capital, so whichever month you write, the first letter should be a capital letter. Now there are informal styles as well, which most of you follow when you write dates in your notebook, or even otherwise when you write letters. For example, 12.03.21 or 12/03/21. Now this is an informal style. You can also write 7 Jan 2021. Since you have written the short form of the month, this becomes informal. If you write the full form, that becomes formal, but when you write the short form of the month, it becomes informal. And you know that you can write the short form of almost all the months of the year except a few months like May and June. May, June and July, I believe. So the other months you can write the short forms, but when you write the short forms, it becomes informal. So avoid informal styles in formal letters. That's very important point to keep in mind. Next, you have the to address, and wherever you write a formal letter, you must keep in mind that the to address always begins with the designation of the person whom you are addressing. You need not write the name, and in India particularly, we don't write the name of the person when we write the formal letters, to address of the formal letters. We always begin with the designation. Designation is the post which the person is holding. For example, when you write a letter, for example, let's say an application, a job application, which is a formal letter, you write to the manager or to the principal. So you don't write the name of the person, you just write the designation. Next, you write the address, which should be the official address, not the residential address of the person. You should write the official address of the person, followed by place and pin code. So this is to address. Next, salutation. There are different styles, sir, dear sir, or madam, dear madam. If you are not sure about the gender of the person you are addressing, you can always write sir/madam. So this is how you write the salutation. Next comes the subject. Keep in mind your subject should be short and specific. So as far as possible, keep it a single line with a specific pointed subject. Next, body of the letter, the most important part of the letter, body of the letter. In the body of the letter, you expand the subject, you elaborate the subject and what to write in the body of the letter. If you keep in mind these 6 words, what, where, who, when, why and how, you can easily write a very clear uh, body of the letter. Now in the body of the letter you can start with what, no, what is the problem, or what is the matter, what are you writing for, where the things are happening, or where is the problem, or where is the location, who is the person concerned, or who is affected, when is this happening, or when is the problem happening, why is it happening, and how is the solution part, how it could be solved, or how should the authorities or the concerned people respond to the things. So these words, no, if you answer to these words, you will get clear sentences which will be a part of the body of the letter. And next comes subscription. Subscription is the courteous ending to the letter. You always write yours affectionately, yours obediently, yours faithfully, yours sincerely, sincerely yours. Now the last 3, yours faithfully, yours sincerely, or sincerely yours, are the most frequently used subscriptions in formal letters. So you can use any of these while writing formal letters. And you end the letter with a signature which follows the subscription signature, followed by your name, the sender's name. So this is how a letter looks like, the contents of the letter. Now we shall just try to recap the main points discussed in this particular session. We discussed basically the contents of the letter. The contents of the letter are as follows. We begin with the from address, then comes the date, then we have the to address, and very important to remember, in the to address, while writing a formal letter, don't write the name of the person. You need not write the name of the person. You have to begin with the designation of the person and the official address of the person. Then comes salutation, where you can use the words sir, madam, dear madam, or sir/madam. Next is the very important subject. Subject should be single line as far as possible, and subject should be specific and pointed. Then comes the body of the letter. While writing the body of the letter, try to include the most important points and keep the body of the letter clear, simple, pointed, specific, and the body of the letter should answer the questions what, when, who, why, how, where, as much as possible. Next, you end the letter with a thank you, and after that comes the subscription. There are different styles. The most popular are yours faithfully, yours sincerely, or sincerely yours. Also note that there is no apostrophe in the word yours, yours. After R, don't put an apostrophe which is not there in yours. and you end your letter with a signature. Uh, the signature should be a full signature followed by the name of the sender. The person whose names appears in the from address should appear once again after the signature. So that is where you put the name and you end your letter. So these are the contents of the letter. In the next session we are going to look at writing model letters. Before that you need to study the contents and know the different contents so that you can easily write a formal letter. While we meet in the next session, thank you very much.